y'all, exclusively interviewing Diamond D.
Right.
And who is one of the soldiers behind DITC, the legendary, extraordinaire, one and only Diamond D.
What up, man? What's good?
Let's go into the start about growing up in South Bronx, Force Projects, Crazy Eddie Records, and working with Master Rob on the duo The Ultimate Force, and DJing with the legendary Jazzy J, 80s I'm Not Playing.
All right, well, basically me and Rob, we lived in the same building, in the projects. You know what I mean? And we had a rap group, Ultimate Force. Master Rob met Jazzy J walking through the projects. You know, he told Jay, yo, you know, we got some stuff, yada, yada, yada. So eventually we went out there with Jay, we hooked up with Jay, and that's how we all got down with Strong City Records. And that basically just snowballed into everything else.
And one of the best 100 albums of all time, Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop, 20th anniversary now, share the success, what it brought to you, and the Diamond and the Psychotic Neurotics.
Yeah, well, that album, you know what I mean, it just basically just solidified who I was, you know, as an MC, and it basically announced my arrival, you know, in the hip hop scene as far as, you know, being a producer that had garnered respect. You know what I mean? So that's what's up.
And being one of the first producers to put it down on the East and the West Coast with many MCs, elaborate on combining these sides and what went down in the golden era on your side.
As far as
production.
Okay, you mean like with West Coast artists, or?
Yeah, working with the East Coast, West Coast, like back in the days when the beef was going on.
Right. The beef was really between two people.
Right.
You know what I mean, it really wasn't no West Coast, East Coast thing. I mean, it was little spin-off shits popping up, but nothing major. I had actually started working with West Coast artists prior to that. You know, the Alcoholics, Exhibit, Far Side, Cypress Hills, House of Pain, you know what I mean? So, like I said, the East Coast, West Coast thing, it was basically between just Biggie and Pac and their camps, you know what I mean? It just blown out of proportion. Fortunately, though, we had to lose both of them over some bullshit, you know?
Definitely. And any times you have with legendary Biggie, you can share about it.
One time, I went down to the studio, Daddy's house in Manhattan. I played Biggie some beats. We hung out, smoked some weed, we vibed out. He liked like two of the joints, and you know, boom. A little while shortly after that, this is right around the time where he had injured his leg. You know what I mean? And maybe 2 or 3 months later, he was dead. You know what I mean? So shouts out to my man Big.
And being part of the all-time masterpiece, one of my all-time favorites, America is Dying Slowly, stay away from them nasty hoes.
Yeah, you know, AIDS is a terrible thing, you know what I mean? And that was a joint that me, Sadadex, and Fat Joe did on that AIDS awareness project. And, you know, it's ill. You know, I'm surprised people even still talk about that record, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that it was one of the joints on the album that stood out.
Anything happened for you from that record that you could elaborate on?
Nah, not really. You know, it was just, you know, it was just one of the rare times where you heard Fat Joe and Sadat on the song together. I don't think they've rhymed since then. You know what I mean? So for that much, you know, it's a classic.
And what tracks are you most proud of and some of your best music that you've ever produced?
It's hard to say. My album, the Busta Rhymes remix to Bust a Bus on the Violator album. It's hard to say. It's a lot of stuff. But that's what sticks out.
And the Wall of Signatures, some of your faves. I have my own too since I started up in this game, and you're on it.
Right. Let me see. On my wall. Well, of course, you know Big L's on there, Rest in peace, Big L. It's too many people. Showbiz and AG. Buster, Carmen, Hank Shockley, Exhibit. Everybody was around me, during that time period.
And yo, that's the shit. What was the sample? Was it hard to clear for you? And what songs lately have you produced would you like a B-boy or a B-girl to know about?
That's that shit. Was it hard to clear? No, it wasn't. We all know that's George Benson footing it. Lord Professor put me up on the record. He played it for me, and I was like, "Yo, what you doing with it?" He was like, "Yo, whatever." So he slid me the record, and I went back to the lab and chopped it up. Anything I'm working on now, specifically for B-boys and B-girls, not necessarily just for them, but I got a new project coming out that I'm producing, a dime piece. It's my first producer album, you know what I mean? So I'm excited about that. That should be dropping sometime, maybe late spring, early summer.
And some of your production, tell us about the Fushnikins.
Fushnikins, they came up to my spot in the BX.
Shouts to Chip Fu on that as well.
Right, shouts to Chip Fu, all of them, you know what I mean? And it was a lot of fun working with them, you know what I mean? A lot of high energy, you know what I mean? I like that shit.
Excellent. And receiving a Grammy for The Score, Fugees.
Right. Classic album, over 20 million sold, I'm glad to be a part of that, of course.
Definitely. And production on A Bird's Eye View with Exhibit. We got Next Level and the Alcoholics.
Right.
And both autographed there as well.
Ah, okay. Well, first I did the Alcoholics joint. And, Exhibit was in the Liquid Crew. So, boom. Wound up on Bird's Eye View on this joint right here. Shouts out to my man Exhibit. Remember one time me and Exhibit was at Ice-T's house. Ice-T had a crazy house, Hollywood Hills, pool, motherfucking inside pool with a retractable roof. And I think he was getting in like another part of the house built. Me and Exhibit were just hanging out on the balcony, overlooking the city, just smoking and just talking about, music and shit, things that we wanted to do, things of that nature. That always stood out. It's one of the small stories about me and Exhibit.
And Five Fingers of Death, Day One with DITC. Any other awards that you've won? What inspires you?
Day One, Five Fingers of Death. Could be a possible DITC album sometime this year. You know what I mean? So we gotta just wait and see about that. As far as awards, no awards. I just get a lot of love in the streets. I got the Grammy on my shelf, you know what I mean? But, we want to just keep the shit moving, you know what I mean? I still got a lot of shit to do.
Incredible. And Hip Hop Kemp with a live band and the best times with DITC that you'd like to share and anything to elaborate on Big L's legacy?
First question, Hip Hop Kemp. That was last year with the live band, Champion Sound. 15,000 people, it was crazy, you know what I mean? That one show actually led to the European tour that I just came back from about 2 months ago. I was over there for like almost a month, a little under a month. Best Digging in the Crate story. There's so many of them, but I like when we went to Barcelona. We had a show in Barcelona, Spain. It was us and Wu-Tang Clan, you know what I mean? And that was pretty big. Just the fun we had on that tour. Rock Raider was there. So that's definitely one that sticks out, Barcelona, Spain. Last thing, Big L, what can you say? Pure lyricism, you know what I mean? He left us too soon. Can you say that hasn't already been said about Big L?
And on your entire vinyl collection, any rarities that you'd like to speak on and white labels?
So many too. The Broderick Whipperjinny. That's the first album on People Records, James Brown record label. It's a psychedelic rock album, actually. It's not a funk record, but it's the first record that appeared on James Brown's People label. I just came into that about 2 years ago. I mean, that's like pretty rare.
And one of your best hip hop memories you've been part of or contributed to?
Probably in Atlanta when Tupac shot the cops. You know, we was all in the car together. I was right there when it happened. So that might be one of my most memorable memories. It's too many to mention. You know what I mean? But I was right there when Pac shot both of them in their asses. You know what I mean? And rest in peace, my man Pac.
And 5 albums that you would say are the best produced?
I don't know. Best produced, I mean, it's just a matter of opinion. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back. You know, any of the first 3 Tribe albums, you know, the De La Soul albums, the NWA albums, my albums, P-Rock and CL. Only because, you know, just the whole concept of finding samples from different records that are in key. You know what I mean? That's an art form that's lost now. But you know, it's a business, and it would cost too much money to clear those samples. You know, back then, you know, a song might have 4 different samples in it. On top of you writing the lyrics. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a lot of money to be made publishing-wise. So, you know, rap just more, it's a business. You know what I mean? People want to hold on to their publishing. So, you know, that time period will never come again unless you're on a major label and you got the money to really clear samples like that. But for the most part, the industry kind of just shunned away somewhat from samples. You know what I mean?
And you have anything to say to Canada?
Shouts out to Canada. Canada always show me love, you know what I mean? So, you know, what can I say? Whether I'm in Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, wherever I'm at, you know what I mean? I get always a lot of love up here in Canada.
And you got any shouts?
Any shout outs? Shout outs to all my fans around the world. I love you. You know what I mean? Look out for that new LP, the Dom Piece, dropping in the summer. You know what I mean? I got my man Fat Joe on there. I got Black Rob on there, Smith & Wesson, Razzcast, Guilty Simpson, The Licks, Corrupt, DITC, you know what I mean? There's just more to come, all right? Just check that shit out.
And any last words about the Waldorf? This is the last show of all time. And you're doing it on the
my
45.
first time here, you know, so, you know, I'm going to do my thing tonight, do what I do, you know what I mean, and shouts out to Vancouver, Van City, all right?
And shouts to Diamond D and Waldorf Productions, and this is The Archivist, and you already know the name, y'all.
All right, peace.